Hello.
Hello,
Welcome back to Life Unscripted
Unscripted.
with Lalu.
I'm Deborah.
Yeah, today we're going to talk
So today we're gonna talk about childbirth, postpartum,
depression.
postpartum depression, and what's the other one?
The pregnancy.
And the pregnancy.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of questions I wanna ask my beautiful girlfriend, bestie, about like the normal issues that we normally have. 1 minute. So I have a list.
Okay, while you go through the list,
Okay,
and let's
tell
check.
me.
So, yeah, today we're talking about pregnancy, childbirth, and postpartum depression. This episode is basically mostly for women. Men can listen too if they have wives. It's a good educational, episode.
Right.
So, yeah, we're gonna start in like a line. We're gonna start from pregnancy. So,
So tell me.
as a woman
Mm-hmm.
that you don't have any kids yet. So
Right.
a lot of young women out there might want to know, a lot of things and questions that are never asked,
It is
or
true.
talked about. So I'm pretty sure you as well have questions.
I have a lot of questions.
Let's see if I can answer all of them.
Yeah, okay, let's go. Pregnancy.
hmm
When you became pregnant, what was your first thought?
So most of women, I will say most, because I guess not all women have a dream of becoming a mother or
Right.
having a baby. So I'm not just gonna assume all women want that, but I'm part of those women who always dreamt about, having
Having
kids and
family.
having a family, and then working for lots of years with kids. I always imagined how would it be having my own, and then when time came, our first baby, as you know, we lost our first baby, and then after that we were devastated, and it was a very like hit in the soul basically.
Mm.
And that's another topic I would want to talk about next time. It's about the grief of,
And
that
the loss.
of the loss that many women don't talk about.
Right.
And then when we became pregnant again, the news was like, like
But how did you find out? Tell us more.
so I just had moved to the States, and
Okay.
then we were, mid doing things, and then Manny got a contract out here in Qatar, and then we decided to move. And then I went to Kosovo, to my country, to see my family. Meanwhile, while he was, establishing himself here.
Right.
And then as soon as I got back home, I had this like crazy vertigo, and how they explain it in the movies, like you get like,
Morning
yeah,
sickness.
morning sickness, but at 12 a.m. at night. 12 p.m., sorry. And
Ooh.
then I remember my mom in the morning, she woke up and she's like, you got to take a pregnancy test because,
So mama knew.
yeah. And then I took the pregnancy test, and it was 2 lines. And it's just, I don't know, like that moment was like a lot of things.
What was going through your mind?
I was so happy,
Yeah.
but also it just was a flashback to the first pregnancy test. And then but I worked on myself trying to, uh, enjoy the happiness,
Right.
and then not let the grief of my first one take over,
Right.
because this also is a new baby and deserves to be celebrated, right? So I remember calling Manny, and I was like, hey, like, you have time? And I was just like turning the camera on the test, and he went,
Oh
insane,
my
crazy.
God.
And then it's a very good news. And then it's just, I can't like put it on words, the feelings that you have in that moment. And then from there on, the first trimester is very crazy because
So is it true that people like puke, they vomit, they get
depends
like
on the
overwhelmed?
depends on the person. Like not everybody is the same. For
Right.
me, it was like that one night before I found out that I'm pregnant. And then from then on, it would be like certain smells or things that would make me like queasy. But I never,
Ooh.
went through the puking phase, or like, like they romanticize it in movies, like you
Right.
throw up, and like it's not always the case.
Right.
And then but the first trimester is always so crazy. because you are pregnant, you know you're pregnant, and you have this like alteration starting to happen.
Ooh.
But you're still like your body, you're not gaining weight, you don't have a belly, so you're like, you can't wait to be at that point. So time goes so slow, that first trimester. And then the second trimester, but you start feeling very tired, like
Tired in what sense?
physically, like you just want to sleep, you just want to, the
Okay.
first trimester, like even if it's a girl or boy, it's the same. Like you get really tired because now you have two heartbeats in your body,
Oh.
like flowing. So your blood circulation and everything is, of course, you're gonna get, tired.
Yeah.
So then the second trimester, as much as the moment you hit the second trimester, that fourth month of pregnancy, you feel like all new, and you just want to go out, and now you're showing, and like by the time you find out the gender, and it's a whole new like
Difference.
excitement. And one thing I love in my country and here in Qatar too, that they have this like every 4 weeks checkups where you get to see the baby, and it gives you a certain, especially
Peace.
if you have went through loss before, that first 3 months is, you can't even, like, the moment you find out you're happy, but then you're scared. The whole 3 months you're scared. And then having checkups every 4 weeks gives you an ease, a way of you being able to sleep at night.
Knowing that everything is okay.
Yeah.
But I want to know, what were your crazy cravings?
Oh, so back before Rosa, like before I got pregnant, I never ate sugar. Like I hated sweet things, like to the point for my birthday cakes, I would eat one spoon
And
for good luck, but I would never like eat the whole thing because I wasn't like a sweet, sugary person. Then when I got pregnant with her, all I wanted is chocolate, like sugar. I could literally eat like white refined sugar. That was the like one thing. But then I tried to stay really healthy.
Right.
And then when we come to pregnancies, the first pregnancy is always like the first that makes it through, It's always the best one because you get to enjoy it, relax, take every moment, every kick, every, how it develops in months. You enjoy every single of it. I would go to massage, to spa, I would go to swim every day, just enjoying growing this human inside of me. And then with second pregnancy, because like mind you, I got pregnant like 4 months postpartum.
Ooh.
I got pregnant again with Leo, and then yeah, I know.
It was very cold, huh?
Oh yeah, it was fast.
Keeping you guys warm.
And I remember with Leo, the pregnancy, I don't even remember most of it because I have this baby that I'm taking care of, and I don't have time to enjoy the pregnancy or like, and also we're going to talk about it later. After childbirth, I had postpartum depression after my first baby. So it was, a crazy time to be alive. So basically, pregnancies are different for everyone, but, it's that first 3 months that it's not talked about enough.
Right.
Because 1 in 4 women go through miscarriage. The first pregnancy turns into a miscarriage in 1 in 4 women.
Is it that's why people tend to wait longer before they tell you?
Yes.
Because I got offended with one of my friends. She took like maybe 3 months before she told us, and I'm like, why wouldn't you tell us?
Because that's the thing, you announce it.
Okay.
You get pregnant, you announce it, and you're happy, and everybody knows, and everything's going on. It takes way much more effort that you tell people you're pregnant to tell them that you lost the baby. And then so most women wait till they finish the first trimester because it gives them a sense of safety. And then if you lose the baby, you don't have to keep telling people it's not alive, it didn't make it didn't make it. Because every time you say that word, it weighs on your soul. So this is why in my culture we don't like announce it, around the friends and family until you finish the first trimester. So it's a number that I never knew. That is so crazy. Like 1 in 4 women go through miscarriage.
It's shocking.
With the first pregnancy.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
At all.
And when the doctor told me that, because I lost my baby at 10 weeks, and then when the doctor told me the numbers, I remember I didn't want to hear anything about anything. And then later on, when I went to see him, I was like, how is it that I never heard of this? How is it that I've never heard anybody say that 1 in 4 women might end up with a miscarriage with the first pregnancy? If I had known, I would have, like, half of me would have been prepared.
Right.
And
Right.
I wasn't prepared, and because you hear the heartbeat, the baby's fine, and then one day it's not. So, and I've heard from him firsthand that how many women go through that, and it's not talked about at all. And then it breaks my soul because I remember I went through grief. Like, I don't care what people say. And then this is why I am the most, like, person out there that's against abortion, because I went through miscarriage and I know the grief I felt, and I can promise you I know the moment that heartbeat stopped, because I felt something like went whole, like a hole and like emptiness inside of me. And then, sorry. And then I remember that moment. And then when people talk about abortion and stuff, and it weighs my soul, because I'm like, there's mothers out there who grieve for a child they have lost, and there's women out there who cannot get pregnant, and then there's this women out there who are reckless and then get pregnant, and they're like, oh, you know what, I don't feel ready, I don't want it. And I'm like, I can't even start to, like, because it's a whole, I know, it's a whole, like, different conversation, but it is not talked about. And then when I went through it, I felt so alone, because anybody who I would be encountered with would tell me, oh, you're young, you'll have another one. I would go ballistic crazy, because I'm like, I wanted this baby. I know I can have more, but that doesn't mean that this baby will take over the one I had.
Right.
Like, I have 2 kids now, and probably will have more, but that first baby will never be taken over. Like, that first baby is still in my heart, and then it becomes part of your DNA. So this is, like, it's a very sensitive conversation, and it's a very sensitive topic, and I want to know all women out there who went through miscarriage, or like me, missed miscarriage. Missed miscarriage is called, when the baby's heartbeat stops. And then there's women who cannot get pregnant. You're not alone. 1 in 4 women go through it. The only issue is that we have is that we do not talk about it in public. And then like, you feel alone, and then it's a very big grief. And then we shame those mothers on grieving, and, oh, it's not even a baby yet. Oh, no, it's not the case. So to move past that, like, the pregnancies are different. Like, it's different each pregnancy. I went through 2 full pregnancies, and the first one, like, half, not half, but, like, that first time, and then each one is different. And
to take you back, sorry,
yeah.
I want to take you back to the miscarriage. Do you think, because people have this mentality that they say the main reason why you get a miscarriage is maybe you're in birth control, maybe there's something you did, maybe going out, drinking, partying. Like, do you think that is one of the reasons, or?
So I've read a lot. When I lost my baby, I went through rabbit hole, because I couldn't think of anything except blame myself. It was winter, so I went through the mountain. Was it me? Did I freeze the baby to death? Or like, things in general. So I went through rabbit hole, and I was reading so much, and I was shocked how much things are out there that women do not know. And then it's first birth controls. All these years, I've never taken birth control. In my case, I hate hormonal stuff. I stay away from all that stuff, because also, as a person, it just messes you up.
Doesn't work with you.
Yeah. So I've read that birth controls, I mean, it's logic. For, like, let's say 10, 15 years, you're taking birth control to stop something happening, and then out of nowhere you want it to happen, but your body has learned to navigate to not let it happen. So it's really hard to go back to, okay, now, it's not like romanticized in movies. Okay, today I didn't take my birth control, so I got pregnant. It doesn't work like that. You have to be extremely lucky, extremely fertile for that to happen. And the more you stay on birth control, the harder it is to get pregnant afterwards. And it's something that doctors do not say to young women
They
when
don't
they put them
educate.
on. No, absolutely not. And then there's another things like when it comes to miscarriages,
Right.
it's like there's the sperm and the egg that fertilize together, right? And then always at this point, if you are good, your husband might be on, I don't know, antidepressants, or like drinking too much alcohol, or like eating fast food, like a refined sugar, I don't know, like processed food a lot. It affects their sperm.
I was
So
gonna say that because I do remember one of my friends used to be like, my girlfriend cannot get pregnant, and then I realized, have you asked yourself what you're
yeah.
doing? You know?
Yeah, I know that's a different topic, but like to get there, there's a lot of things that can contribute
To
to the quality of the sperm and after the how it fertilized. But the thing is that it also can be a DNA like mutation, or like something that went wrong that one time. That's why every time you lose a baby, they tell you wait 3 months before you try again, because it takes 3 months for the sperm to rejuvenate.
Ooh.
So, to
That's some
switch.
information I didn't know, so you
Yeah.
guys can know.
So it is not your fault, because, the first trimester, they always tell you, be careful, do not, drink out, because in Europe, you can drink a glass of wine, you can,
Right.
it's not that crazy like it's in Western world. But the thing is that you should make, of course, like all you can that first trimester to be okay. So if something happens, because like I said, 1 in 4 women lose their babies, the first babies, you don't blame yourself. Maybe because I done this, my baby is not no more, or like I could have done this. So for your peace of mind, it's good to stay away from things that can
Right.
harm the baby, basically. But if I believe that these things are not just said and done, there's different factors, stress factors, but also it's in God's hands.
True.
And I
Amen
do
to that.
believe there's this book that helped me through that time. It says Heaven is So Real. It's such a beautiful book. And it says in the book basically that babies go to heaven, and then God keeps them there. And then sometimes God returns them to you in a different pregnancies, like their souls. So it's very like it helped me through my grieving. We all have ways to cope with grieving, and that helped me a lot through my grieving. And yeah, it's not all peaches and because they romanticize the pregnancies on movies a lot, and it's not as easy.
Right.
Because every day of your pregnancy, you're scared
of something might happen.
Something might happen. Did I eat enough? Did I feed the baby, through me enough? And then when the end comes, you don't think about, but since the day you find out you're pregnant, those worries that you have, they're going to follow you to grave. It doesn't matter if your kid's 30, 50, 60, and you're still alive, you're still going to care the same way you cared that day you saw that test turned positive. It's the same thing. You just have to ride it along, because those worries never go away.
And what is the meaning of trimester, so that people can know what you mean?
So in some countries, they say month 1, month 2, month 3. Some say first trimester, second trimester, third trimester. The trimester starts from first month, from the moment you find out you're pregnant, till the end of third month, and then fourth to seventh, and then seventh to ninth.
Okay.
So it's separated in 3 sections, because the hormones and how the baby develops change between those 3 months a lot. So it's set like that. And then in the States, they talk about like by weeks. On week 10, week 20, week. So it depends. I never like me. I went with months because I couldn't keep up with the week.
Ooh, by the way, did you used to forget things?
Oh, that's another thing. Like the brain fog is
Real?
insane, like brain fog. Like you go to a room and it's not as it's not as serious as it sounds. It's actually really funny. Like
Oh
I would
my
find myself
gosh.
in middle of my bedroom and I'm like, um,
Why am
I
I here?
I guess I'll turn around. I don't know. And then it's worse when you already have a baby and you're pregnant with the second, because now you have a baby in your hand walking around the room and you're like, uh, what did I want to do with you? You don't know what's going on. It's actually really funny, but like it's good. It has its
Oh,
ups and downs, and then childbirth comes.
yes, I was about to ask you.
Yeah.
Now, I have a lot of questions. How does it feel during the time before you give birth?
So before the contractions, you mean?
Yeah.
So first, you know, by the end, your belly drops very low. So you have this
Oh,
weight, like it's a crazy weight to carry around. And then the Braxton Hicks starts.
what is that?
So those are like the hormonal things that make your abs contract, your uterus contract
Mm.
time by time. It does feel like you're going in labor, but it's actually just warning that the labor
Mm.
is near. Your body warning you that the labor might be coming soon.
Ooh.
And then when the contractions actually start, they might be apart like 4 hours, 6 hours apart in beginning.
So during that time you'll come and then it starts again
Yeah,
and then it stops.
laps. Yeah, and
Uh-huh.
each contraction lasts 1 minute. Yeah, and then it comes closer to 4 hours, to 3 hours, to 2 hours, to 1 hour,
Oh
to
my God.
then constant.
What's the type of pain? Like, can you describe the pain?
I don't think it's describable.
No.
So you're in so much pain you don't remember it after. I think God made it that
Mm.
way. I can remember it, but I don't know how to put it. And I think God made it that way so we can, go through it again, be
And
stupid and
again and
go through.
again, again.
So, basically, I remember with Rosa when it started. I started having contraction, and I had this gym ball, and I was sitting on it, and I was like trying to navigate, and I had this app to like measure the contraction and the time between, so I
Okay.
don't go to hospital too early because I hated being in the hospital for too long because then you can't do what you want to do,
Right.
So I rather wanted to be at home and do what I feel like doing, and until time comes to go. And then my contractions were actually pretty close, and I started getting scared. I'm like, this is the first baby. I can't, mess
And
around.
when you mean close, what do you mean?
So it was every 3 hours, something like that. And
Ah,
then we went to the hospital. They checked me, and they were like, "Oh, you're just 2 centimeters dilated, something like that."
explain what you mean by that.
So your what's it called, cervix
Okay.
opens
So
one
it's so
centimeters.
people think it's the,
What?
they think it's the where the baby comes out. People
Yeah.
think that's what expands.
So no, first the cervix. You have the uterus, then you have the cervix, then is the, like, because I'm talking like a doctor explaining the woman's body, but then you have the vagina's tube, and
Yeah,
then you have the vagina, and then
right.
the way the baby goes down, for the baby to come out the uterus, your cervix has to open, which is like first it opens 1 centimeters, then two, then three, up to 10, which is like this. And then
For the
and then
single people.
yeah, and then yeah, they told me you're 2 centimeters dilated. You have to go back home because you'll be here till 2 days. And I'm like,
Okay.
okay. So we drove back home, and then that night we stayed at home, and then I remember we went in the morning to the mall. I needed to get some stuff. I was walking around on contractions, and then we went to city center.
Oh my
And
god.
then we went back home, and I remember during the evening around 6 p.m. we went to Jojo to Manny's friend, and then I was sitting in the couch while these two boys are having back and forth, and Jojo like mocking me, like, "Oh, where are you, the faker?"
Oh.
And then I'm over here like like
Oh
smiling.
my
And then
gosh.
I was still going through contractions, and then we go back in our apartment, and Manny's like, "I'm gonna take some sleep because it seems like you're going in labor tonight, so I need some sleep." Imagine, I know, man. Oh God, they get so tired, and then
And who should be tired, you
and then I
know?
was sitting in that ball, and I was measuring the contraction. It came down to 1 hour, so I went, took a shower, got ready. The fact that
You actually had time to take a shower?
yeah, you have time. Like until it comes every 4 minutes, 1 minute, you have time.
Oh, so not in hours.
No,
It
no,
should
no,
be
no, minutes.
okay.
So basically, when you come down to every 4 minutes, one
Uh-huh.
minute contraction, then it's time to go to hospital.
Oof.
But yeah, like for me, then we went back, and I was at this point, I was like 6 meters, 6 centimeters dilated, and then imagine I went from with like every 4 minute contractions to three every 3 minutes, and that was stuck at it from 9 p.m. And Rosa was born 9:25 a.m. in the morning.
Oh my
12
God.
like 12 hours, yeah.
Girl, that's a long time.
But
So
it's
you were still awake or were you like sleeping, waking up,
no,
sleeping?
still awake. I was awake. You can't sleep during contractions. Like it's not unless you take epidural, which I didn't until the morning. But that's another thing I'm going to talk about. Um, they did gave me morphine to help me calm down, but it
But
doesn't
did it
take
help?
no, it doesn't take the pain away. It helps you dilate faster, but it doesn't take the pain away. I mean, the amount they give you because you can't harm the
Mm.
baby. I will talk about it also. Um, I remember in the morning time, then the doctor comes in and the anesthesiologist come in, and they tell me, and we do you want epidural?
Okay.
Now, mind you, it's my first baby. I'm losing my mind, and even though on my birth plan I said I do not want anything,
Mm.
I
So
want,
you had to sign a form.
yeah.
Okay.
So they brought me a form because it was against what my wishes were on the first plan. And then they poked me 6 times
But why?
because they couldn't put the needle right. And then they poked my spine. And then the epidural didn't work. And then I gave birth naturally. And then I know.
Woo!
And then when the baby came out,
The
oh,
joy. Before you get there,
mhm.
what do they mean by my water has just broken?
So, you, girl, do you even read anything?
No, I'm asking out of what people can be asking.
Yeah.
Like when it means water broke, is it water or is it something else? Is it fluid from the baby?
So it's the placenta fluid. It's the
I know I'm
fluid.
asking too many questions.
It's okay.
But I want to know, and people, there are people who don't have kids who want
Yeah,
to know all of this.
that's okay. Yeah, we like when the water breaks, it means you're in active labor, and for some
Mm.
women that's not the case. I had two kids, and my water didn't break. The doctors break.
No, that is why I'm asking.
Yeah, the doctors break the water for me.
Oh,
So not for every women that's the case.
okay.
So yeah,
So the precious time comes
yeah,
when you give birth.
yeah.
Tell me more.
So when Rosa was born, I remember like when she came out after all that pain, Manny's standing me on the side, and then they put her up to me. Oh, girl,
Everything you forgot everything.
it's
All
it's
the
restart,
pain.
like it's everything backwards, and then you're like just looking at this face, and oh God, I can't like it's such a beautiful, joyful
Oh,
moment, and this is why I say um, a lot of women are scared of the giving birth part naturally, and they
right.
prefer epidural, which I will talk about why it's not a good idea. And
Mm,
the thing is that with Rosa, after she was born, she put the tongue in me like this,
oh,
and like this is like minutes,
really?
like few seconds born, and it's just you forget about all of it. You forget about all the pain. You forget about everything, and it's just you have this little thing in your arms, and it's just oh
And then
God,
they give you, and they're like, okay, now it's time to take care of your own baby.
yeah. They send you home with a brand new human being that you're responsible of to keep alive, and you have no freaking idea what you're doing. and then nobody talks about how hard it is to grieve yourself,
Mm.
especially as an expat when you live out away from your family and friends, and then now you came home with this new human being. It was just me and Manny, and oh, God, like
Were you afraid, or what?
girl,
What was
like
going through your mind?
so when we changed her, she's so small. We were scared, like the first times, everything has a first. Like the first time you change her clothes, the first time you change the diaper, the first time you bathe her. Oh my God, that's she was so tiny and slipping, and like it was so crazy. The first time it was chaotic. I was screaming, Manny was screaming at me, I was screaming at him. It was just like crazy. And
Oh.
then after that you start hanging, like, but we're still learning. Like people forget and they are so judgmental towards mother, and like we shouldn't judge mothers, no matter if you like the way they mother that child or not, because remember, the moment that child was born, that mother was born too as a mother.
Mm.
I've never been a mother before. I have never taken care of a baby before. This is my first baby. So give me a break. I've been a mother only for like few minutes, kind of thing. So yeah, and then with Leo, uh, after Rosa, I was like 10 days basically paralyzed because of they poked my spine, and then that spine fluid was going to my
Now
brain.
this is the second time they did it
No, this
wrong.
is what the first time with Rosa, and then with Leo, we were in the States, and then when the same day my contractions started lightly in the morning, Manny had to fly from Texas to Florida for an interview,
Okay.
and then my parents were there, so we went to the doctor, and then Manny was waiting in the airport for a news if I'm giving birth soon that day. He would
Fly back.
not fly back. He was at the airport, so
Oh, he'll
he
just
would just
come back
come
home.
back home. And if it's still early, then he would go and then come back the same at
Mm.
night or in next morning. And then I remember the doctor checks on me and he says, "Oh, you're only 3 centimeters dilated. It's gonna take a while. He can go and come back, and you'll be fine." And then I don't know what possessed me to say yes, go, because I needed him there. Anyway, he went, and then at night I started having contractions like
Oh.
crazy. So I remember I fed Rosa, I changed her diaper, I put her back to sleep. I took a shower, I got up, made some coffee for me, my dad, and my mom, woke them up, and then they were laughing at me like, "How are you in the labor, but you're over here making us coffee?" And I'm like, I'm good, I'm good. And my dad drives me to the hospital. I was 5 centimeters dilated, and I was still like having conversations. And I told the doctor I don't want epidural because
Mm.
of the first time what happened. And then the
Mm.
anesthesiologist come in, and I say, "Can you give me something else, like those gas, like like
The laughing
yeah,
gas?
the laughing gas, so it doesn't stop the pain, but at least it calms you down a little bit." And she said to me, "You're in a lot of pain, and I would prefer to give you epidural because it's easier for you. And since you want to wait for your husband to be here, epidural delays the birth." And I'm like, "Oh, but the first time, blah blah." And she's like, "Oh, you had a bad doctor. You'll be fine. You're in good hands." And I'm like, "Okay." She sounded very how you say, persuaded. And I was
Mm.
like, "Okay, fine." And then she pokes me 4 or 5 times, and then she said, "I can't put
Four,
it."
five. Oh my.
Yeah, and she says,
Do you
"I
know
can't."
how painful that is
I know.
on your spine?
And then she says, "I can't put it all the way through." And then
Eh.
it went only one sided. So
So
my
you're paralyzed on one
yeah,
side.
and then she forgot to mention that I have to press a button and like this and that. My blood pressure was like spiking down, like going down, not spiking up, but going down. And then she told the nurse to keep an eye on me because of my blood pressure. And then the morning shift changed. So the new shift, they didn't know nothing about anything. They didn't
Oh
have the
my
information. They didn't have,
dear.
so like miscommunication with each other. And then I remember I woke up in agonizing pain. I was screaming because it went from
Oh.
0 to 10 in like matter of seconds. And then I remember one of the nurses comes in. No, I had to call my dad because nobody was answering. Nobody was coming to my room. I was screaming. I was
Mm.
like trying to call them with a button thing. Nobody was showing up. So I called my dad. He's in the waiting room. And I was like, send somebody in because I'm like going insane. And then he goes to the reception, tells them, and they send a nurse in. And then with the nurse like, okay, you're 10 centimeters dilated, but you cannot push it because the doctor's not here. And then I'm like, so what am I supposed to do? So I'm screaming and screaming, and then another anesthesiologist comes in, and then he didn't ask any question. He didn't say anything. He went straight to my IV. He pushed something in, and he told me, "You'll be good till birth," and he left. Few seconds, I think 5 seconds went by, and the whole floor was in my room because Leo's heart stopped.
Stopped.
And then whatever he
Wow.
gave me at this point, neck down, I couldn't move. I didn't feel nothing.
Wow.
He gave me something so strong that not only paralyzed me and totally, it also stopped Leo's heart. So they was trying to like revive him from under, like from like they put something in my like
Yeah.
vagina up to his head to like revive him and stuff. And then his heartbeat started coming back, and then the doctor shows up after a while, and then I give birth, and then Leo pisses all over his face. And I'm like, good on you.
Good. Yeah.
You deserve that. You deserve that for being late. You can't wait. You can't wait. You're giving birth. You
Oh.
can't, not a schedule. 20 minutes later, Manny makes it. He missed the birth in
Oh.
20 minutes, but that's, okay. So, yeah, that just shows that childbirth is not easy. And basically, to say that I gave birth naturally twice, and then none of the epidurals made any work for me. So it's better to just give birth natural.
Go natural.
Go natural. It's like it is painful, especially the first childbirth, but you forget about it. The moment that baby comes out, you're good to go. Whereas you can have complication like in your health, and then in the case my son almost died. He actually his heart stopped because of the drugs they gave me, which is like which is what I love about Qatar, because they have an amount of things they can give. And then after a certain point, like after you're 4 centimeters dilated, they don't allow to
That's
give
good.
anything for the safety of the baby.
That's
Because
good.
after 4 centimeters, everything goes to the baby. Everything you take drug wise, it goes straight to the baby.
Oh.
So, like people don't understand that. They want to ease the pain. They want to feel, to give birth easier and all that, but they don't understand they harming the baby. So yeah, it's not all rainbows and flowers, but it is something that's manageable, and it's uh, you're going through pain with a prize in the end.
Mm. So was it different if you compare the first pregnancy and the second pregnancy?
Very different,
Yeah.
very different in so many ways. And like I said, the first pregnancy you're alone. With second pregnancy, you have another child that depends on you, which is like then it changes the rhythm, how you deal with it. And then if you have the kids like I did, so close to each other, 13 months apart,
Ooh.
then that's a different story, like we're coming back to now to the last place, postpartum depression. Like a lot of women go through postpartum depression, and people do not talk about it.
But what is that? Explain so that there are
So
people who want to know.
it's different, and it's in like scales. So some women after they give birth, because the extreme shift on hormones, you go through postpartum depression because your hormones are extremely like blasted out. So now your body cannot regulate your hormones. So you basically going through depression through postpartum. Postpartum is called
Mm.
the time frame after you give birth, the three first months of after you give birth. And during that 3 months, your hormones cannot regulate, which means you're going through postpartum depression. And when you go through that, for me, example, it was depression, meaning like I had extreme anger, uncontrollable anger. I had uncontrollable like guilt trip. Like I would like blame myself about not being able to put a lot of effort in Rosa, whereas I haven't, like now I'm pregnant again, and like it was, a very hard time. And then there's women who go in a different scale, like they don't want the baby, they don't want to feed the baby, they don't want to see the baby, and it's
Mm.
not because they don't love their babies, because they're basically shut down hormonally, and then they need help, and most of the people do not help because they see this as, oh, everybody gave birth, you'll be fine. And then in the States, they keep this chart every time you go to doctor's checkups for the kids. You have to fill this form uh, that states, like your depression levels. And
Mm.
with after I gave birth to Rosa, it was like bad. It was really, really bad. But I also didn't accept going on medication because of being pregnant with Leo, because I'm pregnant, so I didn't want to harm the baby. So after I gave birth to Leo, it started going that route. And doctor put me, my Leo's doctor put me in the office and said, your level of like depression is going up the last month. So we want to make sure you're okay. Do you need anything? Blah, blah. So that opened my eyes. I was like, ain't no way I'm going through that again. So I went back home and I started like working on myself. Like I was like, I'm not going back to that place again ever. So I worked and worked, and here we are today.
Wow. And does uh, postpartum depression happen every childbirth?
No, 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 no. It doesn't happen. So for me, like we talked about, me and you together, that me and hormones do not
Go
like
well.
go well with each other, and also my thyroid issues, and then it's really hard for me to like balance my hormones, my thyroid to balance my hormones, and then when you give
Mm.
birth, like I said, your hormones are all over the place, and your body, your thyroid, which is like the main like main part of your body that balances the hormones, couldn't balance those hormones, and that's why you go through depression. And then it's not the case with every woman. I know
Okay.
women who went through 4 or 5 pregnancies and never were, you know, in depressed.
Depressed.
No,
Wow.
so it's not the case for everybody. For some, sadly it is, and it's actually really something that you, like I said, for miscarriage of stain, for postpartum depression, it's not talked about. You feel alone. You feel like you're like a monster who, lashing out on your kid, on your husband, and like, and the most divorced number is during that period of time, because
Oh.
the partner doesn't understand the wife, what is going
Right.
on, and then the wife just like is nowhere, like
Right.
in the regulating herself. And then it's really hard time, when you think about it, and people have to talk about it more, have to know about it more. So it's just a season
Right.
that goes by, and it's not the whole life.
Oh, what a wonderful time we've spent
Yeah.
listening to your experience. But before we shut this down,
Hmm.
what is the most important thing you want to tell people out there? Mostly the women and men too, because
Hmm.
you actually go through together and as single mothers. So,
There
w-
is never a right time to become a parent.
mm,
There is never right circumstances, right financial ways, right, right anything. There's always something pending, and it comes, and when you take that decision, it has to come from a place of I'm ready, or like to be a mom. I want this baby, not I'm not ready financially or like physically or psychologically, because you're never ready fully. So if you want family, you just start it and you go from there. You learn as you go, you grow with your children. And as long as you have love to give and time to give,
why not?
you're fine. They don't need
Mm,
the world, they need you. They don't need
mm,
toys over toys. They need you. Your eyes, your hands, your laugh, your talk, your voice. That's it. Like now everybody's focused. I can't get the kid this this thing, that thing, and I can't have the kid because I can't have this and that. No,
This is
they
true.
all they need is you, in your time, in your attention, in your love. And then after that, you know, be understanding for each other, understand each other.
Mm.
And women, remember, it is just a phase. You haven't failed. You haven't vanished from the world. You haven't been forgotten. It's just a phase, and it's called raising little human phase, and
Oh.
it goes away so fast, and it's so sad. Like it's making me sad because my kids are so big now, and when I think back, because my mom tried to tell me so many times that enjoy it. It's something so good. Like it goes past so fast, by so fast, and then
Oh.
you wake up one day and they're like 3 and 2, and like they're like little kids, like they're
Soon enough,
toddlers.
they're like 15 and
And
16.
then I know I'm talking like very college, but like I swear to God, like it goes so fast, and then you forget there's little tiny hands and the little tiny faces, and it makes you sad, so sad that you haven't enjoyed that time, that you haven't stopped and take a breath and say, I'm in raising little humans era, nothing else matters. You know what I mean? Like, because we talked in career episode that the world waits for us to get up, and what
Mm.
is she gonna do now? Is she gonna go back to work? Or
Right.
she's not going back to work? Failure.
Right.
Like,
Right.
so we have all this expectation from others, and we let that sink in our soul and mind
Mm.
and take over, and we do not enjoy our little humans, and it's so wrong. It's so freaking wrong, because I've seen so many podcasts, so many people talk. Charlie Kirk talked about it. For us, it's so important to be there for this new generation,
Oh,
because
yes.
they grow so fast, and then you'll have your life to do whatever you want. And in the end of the day, they didn't want to be asked to be born.
Right.
They didn't ask to be born.
Right.
You're the one who brought them to this world.
Right.
So they cannot feel a burden to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even if
Mm.
they're 20 and they need your
Mm.
help, you have to show up. Because he
Even when
didn't,
they're 50, you know?
yeah, they didn't show into this world or to you and say, please give birth to me.
I'm here.
You know, you decided to bring them here.
Yeah.
And then you have to be there for them. And there's nothing more important than that, I swear to God. And I've been trying to convince myself so many times that, because I love career. I've
Mm.
worked my whole life, and I want to work, and I want to do all those things. And then, like there's moments I sit down and look at my kids, and I'm like, you know what? When it comes, it comes. What comes from God, it will come. But I am not going to make myself feel a failure because I stayed with my kids. Because there are kids out there who don't have their parents around. And then it's sad to think about it, but like I have that privilege, and I am grateful for it. I'm grateful to
Wow.
God and to my husband that makes it possible for me to be there and watch my kids
Wow. Oh, thank you so much, Lalu.
grow. Yeah, I know it's like woo.
We have gained a lot of nuggets, and I'm so happy that you were able to. Sorry, people. This is horrible.
That's okay. This is what it means: unscripted, unfiltered. Yeah.
So, thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Lalu, because
Thank you.
this is so much nuggets that people don't get to understand.
Yeah.
And having someone who has gone through the whole thing,
Yeah.
it's different.
Yeah, it's not easy to share like some personal things sometimes, but
Right.
I really think like, because I remember when I went through things, I wanted to see that someone went through it, and if it's someone that needs to hear it, I'm here to say it. There's no shame on it. There's no
No
embarrassment on it.
shame.
No.
No shame in this
So
game.
thank you guys for staying with us. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for supporting us. And we'll be back again.
On Friday.
Yes, with a new episode. And please stay tuned. And
Oh, yeah.
please give us more support. Subscribe in YouTube. Send us followers. Send us likes. And send us actually any ideas you guys you want us to
Want.
talk about.
Yeah.
And we'll be here to say it. And if you want to be a guest to our podcast, let us
Please
know.
do.
Yes.
We want to know.
Yes. Thank you, guys. This is Lalu.
And this is Deborah.
Life Unscripted.
Always.
See you next time.
Ciao.
Ciao.